Good evening. I am Nick Rishwain, and this is LegalTech Live. With me tonight, and I should have confirmed this before I started, is it Redzic or Redzic?
Redzic.
Redzic, okay. Mary Redzic, and Mary is the in-house counsel and corporate secretary at Vienna Group.
Yep.
You are also formerly of your own law office, the law office of Mary Redzic, if I'm correct.
Yep.
You also are is it a founding partner of ShapeTheLaw.com?
Yes.
Okay, and that's an unconference for attorneys, if I understood that correctly. And then finally, we also have you at blogging about legal disruption and so forth at disrupt.legal. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
All right. So there's you're juggling a lot of things there, and like me, you've got a day job, and then you're doing other pursuits in the evening. It sounds like, with coding and blogging as one of the items that I read about. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Go back to the beginning, and then we'll come into you don't have to go all the way to the beginning, but go, take us back to how you got to where you're at, and then we'll get into some legal disruption and the things you're working on there.
Sure. So I am originally from Chicago. I studied law there, and I had my own law practice. Law office of Mary Redzic, whatever you want to call it. But I wanted to go in-house. So I had an opportunity to come to San Francisco, and I took it right away. Just sounded great, having that work-life balance that everyone wants. So I came here, and even though corporate law is different, and I feel like it's a little more advanced when it comes to technology, it's still not quite there. And I noticed all these other industries that are really advancing, and I became a little frustrated.
Okay.
So I started researching, is anyone doing anything to make us a little more advanced, more effective and efficient? And I found this whole group and legal tech community that is really trying to make a difference. And I wanted to join in. And so I started blogging about it, talking to all the founders, and it kind of took off, and it's been great.
And now, are you doing that at Disrupt Legal, or are you blogging on Ms. JD and all those other forums, Facebook platforms and all that? Or where do you generally blog?
It's just Disrupt Legal, and I also work for Quick Legal. It's a new startup. They're doing great, and I blog for them as well, also about legal technology and, of course, their own software. So
excellent. And I noticed when I went to, I guess let's take it in chunks. So you went to Vienna as part of looking for the work-life balance, or the life-work balance, and that we all seem to take on in this legal tech industry. And then we get the in-house or full-time gig, and then we continue to work afterwards. So I'm not sure that we're learning the lesson that we're attempting to learn. But so tell me then, let's go, before we get to Disrupt Legal, I guess I should say, tell me about Shape the Law, because this sounded really cool. I was looking on the website beforehand, and it's something, it sounds like you guys, your first conference is upcoming real soon.
Yeah, it's coming up on April 29th. It's a non-conference which is just kind of an unorganized and kind of just winging it conference. So we're inviting 80 women lawyers. We wanted to focus just on women on the first round. And we're going to talk about, how are we going to progress in the legal industry, not just about technology, but Gina Cho, she promotes mindfulness in the legal industry. Alexandra Devendra, she promotes design, using design to improve the legal industry. And Laura Mechlin, she's at Safer Shaw, and she promotes diversity. So we're kind of combining our fields, and we're getting together with other lawyers to see what they're doing, and then just, answering questions or asking the right questions to see how can we help change and progress this industry that we're all in, that we love, but it's rough.
It's antiquated in not only in diversity and women partners and technology and adapting and adopting to and adapting to and adopting new technologies. It's just antiquated in many ways. And so will this just be a one-day event at Shape the Law? The first event will be a kind of a one-day thing, and you and Gina, and I talk about Gina like I know her because I follow her on Twitter through several of my feeds, and I'm familiar with her, but I've never met her. I've never talked to her, but I am familiar with her work in the mindfulness and she's much more work-life balance these days, I believe, right? She's really is Gina the one who does lawyer meditation or the anxious lawyer? Yeah, okay.
She's very balanced, but she's very busy. So
right, yeah, that seems to be a pattern that I'm seeing amongst those in the legal tech industry. But yeah, I'm very familiar with her work because she's disrupting in the way that we're talking about. So it'll be the four of you speaking at the Shape the Law conference, and
we'll just kind of lead the way, but everyone else we're going to ask people to write down questions, and then we're just going to post them up, and we'll have little breakout sessions, and everyone can talk about the different topics or the questions that were posted by all the lawyers. So it's very just kind of, friendly conversations, nothing formal, but we just want to start the conversation.
Okay, good. And then this is Women in Law in this time, and I'm assuming you guys have plans for Shape the Law as far as including men and technology and so forth.
Definitely. We have, I think, 8 cities lined up.
So nice. Okay, so it's not going to just be a San Francisco base.
No, we're going everywhere.
All right, great. That's fantastic. And you're a founding member of Shape the Law, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And is it the four of you who are the 4 founding members?
Yes.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
That's great.
A great group.
Love to see things when they're like just at the beginning like that, and trying to bring people together to talk about changes. So, okay. And then tell me a little bit about Disrupt Legal. What necessitated it for you? Was it just tell me in your mind what necessitated it?
It was a venting blog at the beginning, just kind of starting this conversation about why aren't we changing the legal industry? Why isn't it progressing? Why aren't we coming up with these great products? Why aren't lawyers learning how to code and making these products to make our lives easier? Why are we always doing the same thing the same way that it's been done for hundreds of years? So it was just to vent and to see if anyone else would respond, and a lot of people did. So it was a good response. That's how I met Gina. It's how I met Alex and Laura. So it's been a great response, and I feel much better.
Well, that's good. That's good. And do you feel my experience in law related? I never practiced. I've been in my day job is in the expert witness industry, and we've had difficulties with getting attorneys to use the web-based model and do some of the searching on your own instead of costing your clients lots of money, which is the difficulty that many of our guests on the show have had, was getting attorneys to adopt. Are you feeling like there is a change coming? There is for lack of a better term, paradigm shift in the legal community?
I think it's getting better. I think we're all getting louder about the fact that we need to be more progressive. LegalTech, the shows in East Coast, West Coast, so New York and San Francisco, they're really just drawing attention to the fact that technology is coming whether you like it or not. And you need to adapt, sorry.
Yeah,
both,
it's both, really, yeah.
And so I think it's getting better, but I still see a lot of resistance. I still see a lot of BlackBerries at all the legal conferences I go to, non-legal tech ones. And, I think it's getting better, but we have a long way to go. At LegalTech New York, they described it really well. They've separated into 3 different categories. There's LegalTech 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0, and 1.0 is where we still are. It's using Word, using Excel, using Outlook. That's 85% is what they estimated of all lawyers still only use that.
Right.
LegalTech 2.0 is all the contract management, legal practice management software, and I think we're just started using that. I think lawyers are finally learning that, there's ways I can manage my cases and my clients and communication and all my documents all in one platform. So I think we're getting to 2.0, but 3.0 I think is probably 10 years away. Artificial intelligence.
Right.
Let's not even get started there. So
yeah, and although it will be AI and the robotics, it's going to have an impact on the practice of law. There's no doubt about it. But we're not, as far as lawyers adopting and adapting, it may be that may take some time. But I think the clients will probably push the adoption of new technology and lower billing and things that will lower what they're paying in legal fees will probably be the thing that pushes it in the end.
Exactly.
The biggest change we've seen has been since the 2008 crash. All of a sudden they're very cognizant. The clients are very cognizant of how much they're spending on litigation. What topics do you cover in Disrupt Legal? What are some of your main topics?
I usually just try to find innovative companies and kind of draw attention to them. I'm trying, there's a lot of legal practice management software out there, but Quick Legal, shameless plug. Quick Legal is, they have the legal practice management, but they also have on-demand legal services. So lawyers can use the app, and any client, if you're just walking around, and let's say you get in a car accident, someone hits you, if you need a lawyer right then and there, you can just pull out your phone and talk to a lawyer instantly. So I think combining the two is innovative. So I wanted to talk about them. And then there's companies that are using artificial intelligence along with the legal practice management, and Smokeball is one of them. I just read about them. I loved what they're doing, so I'm going to review them next. And then there's companies out there that are, just making things that are painful and difficult for lawyers, like e-discovery. They're just doing a really good job and making it as easy as using Facebook or something. So just dragging, dropping documents, and it's just really easy. So just drawing attention to companies like that are making a difference and really solving problems. That's my main focus. And then just talking about legal tech in general and making your life easier.
Right. And I think that's what Ivan and I had two kind of different viewpoints for this show. His is more investment based in legal startups, and mine is more, what problem are you solving?
Yeah.
Because that was always the most difficult. And I love what you said was covered. I wasn't at LegalTech New York, but those items that they're kind of in the tech 1.0 space in the lead. It's scary, but it's true. When we're coming to the end of the web 2.0, and they're only in tech 1.0. So
1.0,
So Quick Legal, is it quicklegal.com? I can put it down here in the chat. Okay. And this is a company you're also involved in?
Yes.
Okay.
Do that on the side. I have a lot of little projects.
Wearing a lot of hats.
Many, many hats.
Right. That's good. That's good. It keeps you busy and keeps the mind sharp. So Quick Legal, they are sort of an on-demand legal service?
Okay. Yes. It's an app, and it's really easy to use and good for lawyers and clients. So.
Okay, great. And is that a membership-based service for the attorney or for the client, or both?
Attorneys right now, I think it's $450 per month, but you get, free research. They also integrated with Ravel, so you get analytics about judges and cases, and you get legal practice management. They even build your site for you. I mean, there's a lot of services that they offer, so it's worth it, and it's actually cost saving. And then they're actually adding a feature where if you so clients can also post questions, and lawyers can answer them in their free time. And if you answer 25 questions a month, which is basically a question a day, you get it for free. So.
Oh, really? So that's kind of a way to allow for content to be created on the site.
Mostly just getting the clients to their questions answered.
Okay, so encouraging them to use
exactly.
it. Okay, and with the side benefit of creating content.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Yeah. And will it one day become because I've seen the other ones where, and they're coming on, I can't think of who it is, but I think we're going to have them on shortly in the next couple of weeks. somebody who does like $20 a month for the having a lawyer on demand, is that something you guys are thinking in the future for Quick Legal, or you want to have it a membership site for both consumers and attorneys?
We're working on it. I can't reveal anything yet,
Sure.
so, but definitely something we're keeping in mind and exploring.
Yeah, good. And I certainly don't want you to reveal anything proprietary. So out of you mentioned a company that I hadn't heard of yet, Smokeball. Out of the companies that you've reviewed that you thought were doing really, because I've got some on my radar that I thought were really, really awesome that we've interviewed. Leanlaw.co was my favorite. What has been your favorite? You've been doing the reviews for how long now?
A little over a year.
A little over a year. And so, and not to belittle anybody, but who is doing exceptional work, but have you had a favorite, like you just liked the problem they solved? Because that was my issue with Lean Law. I liked the problem that they were solving, and I was familiar with it. Has anybody struck you that way?
Smokeball is probably one that sticks out just because I've never seen a company where they actually do the timing for you. So usually you have to fill out your little timesheets and, estimate, is it 0.6 or 0.0, like what, I can't keep track of all that all day. That takes you time. And so what they do is every time you're drafting an email, they time it for you.
Okay.
It's all integrated with Outlook and Word, which is tools that we're already using, the 85%. So, which is also great. And then they time how long were you drafting this document, and it connects with your clients and your cases, and it's all done for you. So I thought that was just brilliant. And you don't have to fill out those sheets anymore. You don't have to estimate. It's all done for you. And at the end of the month, you can actually see all the data that it collected. Like how much time did you spend drafting that? And then maybe you can do, fixed costs, because you can see, it takes me about an hour to draft that. And so it was really impressive.
That's cool. It seems that you and I had some of the same ideas, because Lean Law had a similar feature to that, where it was billing management and integrated with your QuickBooks, or they were working to integrate with the QuickBooks that would eliminate a lot of the front office requirements. That where you might, why do I have to put all this written down, 0.6, 0.10, whatever, take that to somebody else and they have to input it. And so it seems that you and I like that same idea. And that was one that I remembered from clerking as like, God, this is a nightmare. And we're using these slips of paper. I'm dating myself a little bit, but it was a small law firm.
I've done the same thing. Yeah. Anything to eliminate the grunt work and the daily stuff that, just so I can focus on the legal stuff and focus on solving legal issues instead of filling out timesheets. And yeah.
Is that a benefit of being in-house, that you don't have to do timesheets?
A little bit.
I bet that's
pretty nice. Yeah. Not going to lie.
So tell me about it. This is, I guess, when I went to Vienna Group, which I thought was going to be a legal tech company. No. It is not. It is the furthest thing from it, in fact. So tell us about it, and how did you get into this one?
I was looking for an in-house position, and I was open to the whole world. So,
oh, that's easy.
Yeah, Chicago's great, but I was looking for sunnier states. And now that I'm here for 4 years, it's always a little foggy. So but it worked out really well. From 10 to 4, it's sunny, so it's okay. But I found a position through the recruiter, and it's a shoe company. And they have orthotics inside of their shoes. So, but it's stylish orthotic shoes. So,
yeah, which I noticed that when I looked at them, they did not look like Crocs, which was nice. That was nice.
No comment on that, but yeah.
Yeah, probably a competitor. I'll comment, but
go ahead.
Not the most attractive look that I've ever been willing to wear. So,
yeah, it's a good company. We grew from, I think it was 30 people when I started. Now we're at 100. So we're growing like crazy, and it's been a lot of fun. I've been there for about 4 years, and it's definitely not LegalTech, but I do try to find solutions to make my life even easier, even though I'm in-house. But
right. So that's cool. Was it a nice change? Was there a point because you did your own practice for a short time after graduation? Was there a reason or that kind of stemmed it other than moving, other than the work? Was it the paperwork and the headaches dealing with clients? And be honest, I don't want to.
Yeah, I'll be honest. It was rough being in house. It definitely had some emotional impact on me. Just out of law school, they don't teach you how to handle family law and your client going through a nightmare. How do you handle that and try to do the legal work at the same time? So it took an emotional toll on me, and that's kind of why I wanted to go corporate. I wasn't ready to handle that kind of situation. So it was definitely a somewhat personal decision to go in-house as well. And I thought I would just be honestly having that work-life balance. I was working 24/7.
Right.
My phone was always on. If a client calls from jail, I have to go. So
right.
I did a little bit of everything. So I was always up and working and stressed out. So it was rough for about 1.5 years. And I thought it was enough and time to move on. So.
Yeah. And I've heard it from so many people. I've got a lot of former or recovering lawyers in my family, and it was like, why are you going to law school? That there's other ways to make a better living and that are not as stressful, but
right.
Has the work life, you've obviously taken on so many additional hats.
Right.
Do you feel though, being in-house, that the work-life balance has changed for you?
It definitely has. I mean, all these other projects I do on the side, they're hobbies. That's fun for me. And it's, trying to make a difference and do something that's meaningful for me. So this is a work-life balance for me. I love to work, but it doesn't feel like work when you like it. So
that's exactly right. That's great. And what are your thoughts? I like to ask questions such as the future of legal tech. What are you seeing that's really going to be have an impact in the future? It doesn't have to necessarily be companies that you reviewed. It may be ideas that have been floating around that you think are going to have a major impact.
I'm going to reveal some of the things that I want to work on, but but that's okay. If someone else does it before me, that's okay. Go for it. I want to see an online courtroom. That would be a game changer for both lawyers and judges and clients as well. Just not going to a courtroom, I think, would be amazing, and just solving everything from your laptop, your phone, probably mobile, would be best. I think that would be incredible, and I see that happening probably, maybe not in the next 5 years, but hopefully in the next 10. I think it would just change society.
I think you're right, and I've seen progress to bringing video into the courtroom. Even in my day job at experts.com, have finally seen, they got to be able to bring an expert witness in via Skype.
Yeah.
That saves a lot of travel costs.
It does. Exactly.
So, and just because a client was in a particular jurisdiction at the time of the incident doesn't mean they're there anymore. If they have to come back, their costs and savings as well. And there's a huge cost in time for an attorney to have to get back to the office and then go back to the courthouse, or however that works. So I'm with you. Other items that maybe outside of your purview, but you think would be really cool to see in the near future, or in the not so distant future, because I think the AI has a lot of. I agree. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I just think it has a lot of ability without, I don't think it's there yet. I don't, for reviewing contracts and reviewing complaints and then having the attorney sign it at the end. That would be, if my liability and my ticket to practice are on the line. I'm not sure I trust the AI yet, but I think it's a future that's coming.
I agree. I definitely think it's not quite there. I've seen, I believe it's Legal Robot. They're making some progress in that area, but I'm not sure how far along they are. And I'm not sure if it'll be, foolproof and, reviewing your contract to the point where you don't even have to, and you just sign off on it. So I think that'll take some time. But I think that's definitely a short-term impact that will happen probably in the next few years, and it'll make a huge difference for all of us. So.
Yeah, I agree. And we talked to Dan Rubens of Legal Robot on our show before, and cool guy. And my concern was not with how great, because I think his product is fantastic. Mm-hmm. My concern was more on the professional liability side. It's like, would I really be willing to lose my legal ticket if because I felt like the malpractice could be the issue, and I think he's finding ways around that, or he will eventually. But I see a lot of progress there, and great things, and he's a cool guy too, which I like.
Yeah. Very laid back. He is,
very laid back, and he knows what he's talking about. And he's not a lawyer. He didn't come from a legal background.
No, and that's one of the things that I'm always shocked about. I think I read a statistic somewhere. I think only 17% of all founders of these legal tech companies are lawyers, are practicing lawyers, which is a bit worrisome because
right.
How can you solve a problem if you don't even know what the real problem is? And that's where I get a little frustrated with the legal tech companies. I mean, I love what they're doing, but you need more lawyers on your team who know what they want, what problems they want to solve. They can tell you, okay, this is good, this is bad, add this feature, remove this, why do you even have this? Like, you need more lawyers who understand them, and you need technologists that can help solve those problems, and more collaboration. But I think that's one of the things we also need to work on as lawyers. We need to collaborate with other industries and technologists to actually make this happen, and we're a little resistant to that. So
yes, it is. I was on a blab earlier today filled with lawyers. That was one of the jokes that I kind of put in the chat was, one of the lawyers said, well, I think we're all right in this instance. And I said, imagine that, 4 lawyers agreeing that they're not that any one of them was particularly wrong, but we're all right, So it's hard to bring a technologist into that and say, but let's do it this way. Well, no, that would be the wrong way. Oh, difficulty. But tell me in a couple of seconds where you want. Let me get them all here. Shape the Law to go, Quick Legal to go, and Disrupt Legal to go. Tell me where do you see Shape the Law in 2 or 3 years?
We want to have, well, this is my goal, and the girls I think are on board. We want to have the biggest legal unconference in the world in a few years, where we have lawyers from all 50 states and other countries getting together and just, not starting the conversation, but expanding on it and actually doing something about it, and collaborating with other industries like technologists, and solving problems that will actually help us not only enjoy practicing law, because I think we all, or most of us, went to law school because we do want to help people and we want to solve problems. And maybe we can, if we all get together and have this huge unconference, we can actually solve these problems where it's not that stressful. We can make our clients happy, which will in turn make us happy. And we can, the legal industry is recovering, we can actually make a decent living. So some jurisdictions, it's still rough, and it's hard to find jobs, and people are not getting what they paid for with law school. So maybe we can make it all better.
Excellent. And with Quick Legal, where do you see that in a couple of years?
That is, everything's changing every day. They're adding new features. They're making it better, easier to use. Just answering a lot of questions that clients are having, and lawyers, getting them leads. I see them just making a huge difference. You no longer have to ask your family or friends for a referral and hope that the guy that they referred you to is actually going to do his job. So these are going to be lawyers that are vetted and will be answering questions and will know what they're doing. So I can't even think that far ahead because everything's changing so quickly. So no pun intended, but
sure. And now, have you guys dealt with the constant startup problem with that, where somebody sees it and says, well, can you make it do this, and can you make it do this, and you start spreading too thin, and you're like, let's bring it back in and focus here. Have you dealt with that yet?
definitely. And I'm not going to say any names, but there was one person who asked, I shouldn't say this, but should we add e-discovery? I'm like, no, why do we need that in there?
Right. There's 10,000 companies trying to do that.
10,000 companies. Let's focus on what we do best, and let's make the clients and lawyers happy, and just leave it at that. But yeah, I would definitely try to do everything for everyone, but you got to focus.
You have to focus. It's a difficult balance because, the potential users will come in and they will have good suggestions. Like, oh, that's boy, that is something that we maybe should think about. But then we got to, all right, but that's going to have to be down the priority list. Yeah,
exactly. Just got to prioritize. I'm going to get in trouble for that comment.
Well, only if they watch the replay. Only if they watch the replay.
I won't tell them about this.
Unless they're in here. Unless
they're in here, probably.
Oh, they are. Okay. So, and then finally, Disrupt Legal. Where do you want to take that? Or do you just want to, is that continue to be your kind of outlet for your own fun?
It's probably going to be an outlet for the next few months, but I'm thinking of adding something to it. I won't reveal what it is yet, but there may be something useful on there for lawyers to use, something fun, but I won't reveal anything yet.
No, don't. Come back, I always want a reason to bring a guest back, and tell us what happened since the last time we talked, and that's the fun thing about this type of a platform is it's, when we have time and you have time and we can just come together and put it on and talk about the advancements.
Yep.
Now, when did you get the .legal domain? I'd like to know.
So for my company, I have to keep an eye on all the new extensions coming out because long story, but I saw .legal. I'm like, that looks pretty good. I think it was the day it came out. I got it.
Nice.
It was so cheap that day, but now it's like getting up there. I'm like, come on.
but it's a great domain. I mean, you can hold on to that one because
I will. Yeah.
I've been watching, Legal Disruption started kind of being talked about in like the 2010. It is when it seemed like the word disruption. Well, it was in the technology field long before that, but for the field, they started using the terminology. And when I saw disrupt.legal, I thought that's a great get right there. And because one of the things in the .live in the live community is everybody's now getting the .lives, which is or .lawyer. There's a lot of those now that you're able to get. And when I saw .legal, I thought that's fantastic. Looks like Ivan has found his way to the room. I don't know if he's going to join or if he's on a plane somewhere. Glad you could at least join, Ivan. Glad you could pop in. So, Disrupt Legal, don't give anything away, but where do you see yourself and your blogging 5 years from now?
So I'm learning how to code. Okay. So I might take it to the next level and build something, and just kind of use the Disrupt Legal, platform to either promote it or to help build it, maybe ask for some input. So in 5 years, I'm hoping to have a company of my own that's helping to make a difference as well.
Excellent.
Company.
Now, where are you learning to code? Are you Khan Academy or?
No, it's Coding Dojo, and it's I was like the only one that offered online classes, and with all the side gigs I have, it was hard to
hard to do something else.
Put that in there too.
Yeah.
Hey, Ivan.
Hey, Mary. What's going on?
Not much. I'm glad you could join us.
I'm not sure if I have enough internet connection, but we'll see if it works because I'm running off of 3.5 4G.
No, it looks good right now.
Yeah. Looks good.
I didn't know where you were at or if you were in transit.
I was in transit like normal.
Yeah. I see you've grown something since the last time we talked.
Yeah, I'm trying to actually blend in with you.
Well, it's good.
So I didn't mean to interrupt the conversation. Mary jumped in on Sunday, I think it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
You jumped in just on the text side of things, and you were a little too shy jumping in, but that's good you jumped in on the LegalTechLIVE. Actually, for those of you that don't know me, again, Ivan Rakelin, I'm jumping in a little late, and I think this is the initial time that I'm with you, Nick, under the LegalTech Live brand.
I think so.
Because you took it and ran with it, so that's good. Yes.
Well, it's
but
still
I'm
our
so bald.
It's still ours, but I know that you've been busy prepping for things to come. So I still consider you the co-host here, co-founder.
Well, thank you.
So
where'd you guys leave off?
Mary was just telling us about where she'd like to be in the next 5 years, and she's spending some time doing and learning her coding on the side as one of her other hats that she's wearing.
Yeah, I'm trying to
glutton for punishment. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep up with everything, but yeah, I think I'm a few weeks behind in my class, but I'll get there someday. And I'm taking my time and trying to make sure I understand all the technology, all the terms, and it's rough. It's challenging, but I'm getting there. So
excellent. Now, did you have any? You were a poli-sci major, I think, as I was. I think I saw on LinkedIn. So you had you've been learning from the bottom up, I imagine.
Yeah, from scratch. Yeah. I think the most I did was Code Academy, and I did some HTML and CS. No, that's all I had. I'm like, oh, I can change the color. Great. So
that's about all I have at this point right now. Ivan, any questions about Mary has several different items going on here. We've got Shape the Law, which is a real cool unconference for lawyers that she's working on. Quick Legal is a startup that she's involved in, kind of on-demand lawyering. And then she's got her blog at disrupt.legal. Do you have any questions for her in that? And I'm going to give you some props since I haven't seen you in forever.
Nice.
I can't hear you. Did you mute it?
I did mute it. So no, I just wanted to say that I'm jumping into the conversation, and I guess at this point, I just wanted to say hi. I think you guys started off at 9, right? Or excuse me, where am I right now?
Where
I'm
are
Central
you?
Time, actually. So I'm looking at the clock right behind you, Mary. It looks like you're at West Coast time as well.
Yes. I don't know if that thing's right, but it's 6 right now. Or no, 6:30.
She's about 90 miles west of me, so.
Oh, okay, not too bad.
Yeah.
So no, Shape the Law. I was looking at the website, and then quicklegal.com, and then legalrobot.co.
Well, so she knows Dan Rubens, who we interviewed early on. She's met Dan.
Very nice.
We just had a little chat about that. And so Quick Legal, disrupt.legal, excuse me, and shapethelaw.com.
Yep.
No, I just didn't want to interrupt. You said your 5-year plan was you're learning how to code, and then at the end of that 5-year plan, what's the? Can you say that again? What your intent is?
Yeah, I want to build my own legal tech company and hopefully make a difference. So I'm not going to reveal what it is. I have a lot of ideas, but it's hard to pick just one and run with it. That's the hardest part. I'm full of ideas, but execution is key. So.
No, absolutely. So I mean, the big part of executing is to figure out what's out there. And then I see you're working on a few different projects. So once you're working on a few different projects, you see who are the leaders in the industry, and then you figure out what they're working on, and then see where the pain points are of the thought leaders and I guess the leaders in the execution space of the legal tech world. Yeah. And then you can fill that niche. And then once you figure out what that niche is, you can start executing on it. And then by then, everybody already knows you as a known quantity in the space, and it's really I think it's fairly easy to pivot after that.
It's true. Yeah, I like it. You laid it all out for me. I like that.
I don't know if I laid it. That's just broad brush strokes.
That was great.
This is where
I've been out of pocket for a few. Was it 2 months? I think 6 weeks.
Well,
no, it's been about 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's only been about 6 weeks, and we only had about 2 or 3 shows without you because we were having some technical difficulties with some of the other guests. So it hasn't been that many shows without you. But I will act. I guess the next time I see you, I will act as though it's been 6 shows and make you buy 6 dinners.
Whatever. I do owe you some. Speaking of which, are either of you going to Social Media Marketing World in April?
I will be there.
That's in San Diego, right?
Yes.
What date is it?
You're going to be there, Nick?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dinner is on.
I'm going to San Diego tomorrow.
Now, April
Oh.
17th,
17, 19. And she's got the first Shape the Law unconference in April 29th in San Francisco. But it's ladies of the law only this time.
Sorry, gentlemen. Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Next will be open to everyone. We just thought we'd start with the ladies. So
I like that, though. That's good. I mean,
yep, exactly.
Hey, ladies first.
and it was
always,
the Shape
like
the Law
always.
is all female founders, so
Yeah,
it makes sense that you would start that way.
So is Tatiana Gray going to be part of that crew?
No, I will double check on that.
And well, the one that
Let's
I
call her
was
in.
wondering about is Nicola Bood involved?
Is she
the Gen Y Lawyer podcast?
Yes. I forgot her name. Sorry. I think she's actually going to be involved. She and Gina are well acquainted. So
I thought that might be the case.
Yeah.
It sounded like a project that Nicole would want to be involved in because she's involved in young legal lawyers in the ABA and so forth. She's a good friend.
Yeah, she has a good podcast too. So.
What about Jen Hoverstad?
Not familiar.
Jen is avoiding the law like the
name ring a
plague.
bell?
Jen is all social media these days, social marketing. I think she's avoiding the law altogether.
Maybe I'll push her back into it.
No, we got to reel her back in. Great story about Jen Hoverstad. So I met her for the first time, as they say, IRL, in real life, out in at Summit Live in January, where I also saw Nick. We cross paths all the time, right, Nick? But anyway, we were departing from that summit, and I was just like, let me see how Periscope works, if we can connect with other people on Periscope. So I just turned it on, and I was like, who else here from Summit Live is at the airport waiting for their flight? And lo and behold, Jen was, and we ended up linking up in the airport and outside of our gates, having at that time it was pretty much dinner time. And then as we're having dinner, just talking about our backgrounds,
protest.
Literally at that same moment, there was a protest going on at the airport that was then later on broadcast that night. But we were both actually Periscoping.
Yeah.
I think it was my biggest broadcast ever because you type in there breaking news, protest, and so everybody was sharing it. So it's fun. So anyway, Jen is an attorney, recovering attorney, I guess, if you will, and she's in the social media marketing space. And she's been pretty active the last few weeks.
Live.
She got the show with Mitch, and obviously Mitch has been in the live streaming space for a lot longer than both of us, Nick and I, if I'm not mistaken. And so he's a known quantity. He's probably the biggest known legal tech
legal
person
social
in live stream.
Live,
I would say.
I think would cover Mitch.
Yeah. Because he speaks. He's spoken at a few of the events, and so
I'll put all this down in
the go-to
guy comments for you, and you can find him at.
He's more erudite
he's a fascinating guy, great guy. I'm happy to call Mitch a friend today because we probably talk just about every day through one of the and if he likes what you're up to, he's a huge promoter. And just a very decent guy. And you're right, he's more erudite than we are, Ivan, and that comes from being a heck of a trial attorney.
Well, he uses more lawyerly noises than I like to.
He's actually practiced, unlike us.
And right, his legal vernacular is a little bit more. I would say verbose or
definitely.
More.
So those are good people to get to know.
Is that a good thing or just kidding? Okay.
Oh, it is. It's absolutely.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's a great guy.
I'm giving him props. I'm giving him a hard time. I give everybody a hard time.
And he's a real disruptor in the legal community because you just don't see a heck of a lot of them on the social channels and certainly not live streaming. Always afraid of that disclaimer. And so that's about all the questions I have tonight for you, Mary, but it sounds like you're going to be coming back in the near future because it sounds like you got
probably will be.
lots of exciting stuff going on. I want to thank you for being here.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. And thanks for joining, Ivan. Glad you could make it. So.
I apologize. I don't know how much Nick disclosed, but I have other obligations. Unfortunately. Oh, you did, unfortunately. The attorney-client
I keep it very
stuff.
general
Yes.
with letting people know that we're grateful for your service.
So
definitely. Thank you.
No, thank you. No, thank you. So how can we help? That's my parting question.
This was good. Just,
what you're working on.
Raising awareness and promoting disruption in the legal industry. I think that's all we can do. So I appreciate it.
Well, thank you again, Mary. Really, it's been a great talking with you, and hopefully I'll see you, if not at LegalTech,
definitely.
in June, then hopefully in the near future when I'm over in SF.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
And with that, I am Nick Rishwain, and this is LegalTech Live. Joining us tonight was Mary Redzic of Disrupt.legal, ShapeTheLaw.com, QuickLegal.com, and Inside Counsel for Bionic. And you are?
I'm Ivan Rakelin, and just joining in a little later for the triple threat, Mary.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Mary.
Thanks. Bye.
See ya.